Hello. Welcome back to my channel. I am Monet and you are watching Life is Monet. I know I've been missing for a few weeks. I was on hiatus from books and booktube. Anything that had anything to do with books, I wanted no association with it. And so I'm not gonna lie, I just wasn't filming any videos and I also wasn't reading any books, but I am getting back to myself. I'm ready. I've missed you guys. I hope that you guys have missed me too. I know this video or any video from me has been absolutely long overdue, and you guys have noticed, and I'm high-key shocked because people really noticed that I wasn't uploading. And I really thought that I could just fade in with the girls and nobody would notice, but it didn't work out like that. So here we are. Now, before I got into my reading slump, I read a book that my girls told me not to read, and that was Crave. I should have listened when they told me that I wasn't going to like it, but I don't like being told what to do. So the fact that they told me not to read the book made me buy it. That will never happen again. Let's just get that out there. I'm never gonna do that again. And so I gave that book 1 out of 5 stars, and I could probably sit here for this entire video and just give a complete drag of Crave, but I'm not gonna do that. You guys really enjoyed my video where I read 1-star ratings of books that I gave 5 stars. So this is gonna be like a switch where I'm going to read the 5-star reviews for books that I gave low ratings. Now, as much as I despise Crave, that's not gonna be the only book in this video. Towards the beginning of the year, I read From Blood and Ash by Miss J.L. Armentrout. Mrs. I don't even know if this person is married, Miss or Mrs. Jennifer L. Armentrout. And right now it's circling like crazy in the book community, especially on book Twitter, because everybody is trying to get their hands on From Blood and Ash, and I don't understand the hype because I read it and it was a 2. It was a 2 out of 5. It was okay. It could have been a lot better, but people are reading this book and they're like stans of it already. The girls have changed their Twitter name to From Blood and Ash stans, and I don't understand. So I'm also going to be reading 5-star reviews of From Blood and Ash so I can try to understand these people or drag them, to be honest with you. We shall see. So some people have been calling Crave like a knockoff Twilight, and that is not how I would describe it. Crave is about a girl who loses her parents, and she goes to stay with a distant uncle and cousin in Alaska, where her uncle is a headmaster for a boarding school. At this school, she discovers that there are supernatural beings and supernatural powers that are basically out to get her and kill her, and of course there is a supernatural love interest, and that's all I'm gonna say about that. And the synopsis that I just gave is better than the book. So for the first review, we have Crave is like Twilight. No, it's not. Grew up to be a witty, sophisticated feminist with a flair for fun and sexual tension. There was barely any sexual tension in this book. I mean, I didn't miss it because it is a YA book, so I don't expect it to be hot and steamy, but there was like nothing there. Like Sarah J. Maas gave the girls a better moment. I wouldn't call that sexual tension. There was attraction. They liked each other. It wasn't tense. The room was empty. When reading Crave, the easiest comparison to draw would be that of Twilight, but I feel like I would not be giving the author credit due to what she has done for this genre. You mean done to this genre? She did something to it. She didn't do anything for it. No, Crave may be the vampire love story we're missing from Stephanie Meyer's series. But we have arrived in 2020, more sophisticated, demanding more from our heroines and our literature. I sat with Grace and Jackson in every room, on every piece of furniture in my home, and devoured Crave from breakfast to bedtime. It is a quick read. You will fall in love. I didn't know you won't. No, you won't. You will fall in love with the elegant world of Katmere. It's not elegant. It's not elegant. Her description of it is literally like, oh, there's this nice building with a bunch of snow around it with 2 lions in the front. There's a fireplace that keeps people warm. It's so beautiful inside the building that I don't have the words to describe it to you. And then she proceeds to not describe it to you. She literally describes Jackson, which is the love interest in this story, in much more detail than she does the entire world of this school. Like, the character is basically like, oh, I hear all these things about Alaska, but I don't know if it's true. Or she'll run into something and be like, oh, I heard that exists in Alaska, but I didn't know that it was true. Like, that's basically the world building. Like, I heard this rumor about Alaska and it's either true or not true. And then we move on. But we spend quite a bit of time on Jackson's cutting glass jaw and his obsidian dark eyes and his whatever type of white skin he has. The world description was absolutely not there. You will gasp and plea for every page of romance, conflicts, and plot twists. This is a lie. This is propaganda. You won't do any of that when you're reading this book. You will giggle, smile, and swoon at the text exchange and witty dialogue between every lovable character. Witty dialogue. The author literally types BFF in the book. AF. I'm tired AF. I'm hungry AF. Like, it's literally not even like one person talking to another. It's literally in the book. Like, the author is saying AF. Like, what? This is Wattpad at its finest. You will devote yourself to a faction and declare your loyalty to dragon, witch, vampire, or werewolf. Your heart will skip, soar, and sink for Jackson along his gaze and charm. That man is as shallow as a puddle. I disagree highly. You will identify with strength, smart, and cautious vulnerability of Grace. Let's talk about Grace. Grace literally is cautious about everyone except Jackson. Like, she doesn't trust anyone, but as soon as she meets Jackson, it's like she would trust him with her life. And everyone is telling her, hey, be careful around him. No, I don't know what you guys are talking about. He doesn't seem dangerous at all. The man walks down the hallway and people scatter. He comes into a room and the room goes mute. Everybody's literally terrified, petrified of Jackson. And she's just like, no, why are you guys talking about him being this big bad wolf? He's not this person. And it's like, girl, you don't know him. You don't know him. But then the second that someone tells her not to trust a person who's been her friend the entire book, that friend doesn't get the benefit of the doubt. Like, as soon as someone tells her not to trust this particular friend, she's all like, yeah, no, I see it now. I can't trust him. I can't be around him. What? She is not smart and she is not cautious, because literally even he tells her, hey, I'm dangerous to be around. I don't think that I'm the one for you. And she literally just has to touch that fire. She has to stick her hand into the fireplace. You will be left, like me, completely mind blown. I was not mind blown. Mind empty. Head empty. That's what it was. By an amazing ending. Ready to journey to Alaska. No, you won't. And what comes next? This is just a lie. I didn't even care about the book at all. And then you don't even figure out how Grace fits into the school until the epilogue. So you literally have to read the entire book. And then you have this climax, I guess. You have a little hill, a little Dora the Explorer moment that they overcome on the map. And then at the end of the book, you read the epilogue. And then you discover one thing about Grace that makes no sense and you don't know where it came from, but it's going to be a sequel. It's going to be a series and they have to go somewhere with it. And I guess that's just the way that they're going to go. I know that this may sound confusing, but I just literally did not care at that point. If I have to wait until reading all I think it's like 500 pages. If I have to read all 500 pages and then read the after pages to even understand like where the plot is going or even see a plot, because the plot wasn't there, the girl couldn't see her. If I have to wait until the end of the book and the epilogue to even see the plot on the horizon, I get off here. This is my stop. I won't be continuing on my journey here. This was fun. I love the Twilight and Legacy references. I will say that it was similar to the TV show Legacies in like a way that it's a knockoff, because there is like a boarding school with a bunch of supernatural creatures and different factions who learn to coexist with a headmaster that oversees all of them. So it is a place where they can go and be themselves. And then you just have this random girl, Grace, which it seems like a very dangerous place for her to be, because you would think that she's powerless because she's just a human against all of these supernatural creatures, which is why you have the plot where her life is in danger because she's weak basically amongst any opponent in this school. The tone was so YA Wattpad, which I love. Grace and Jackson, lots of twists and turns and secrets. It didn't twist or turn. It's spun out of control. That's what it did. And I'm craving Get It, the sequel. Need to know what happens to Grace. No, you don't. No, you don't. Grace wakes up. She immediately goes to find Jackson, please her case. Jackson probably refuses her. She maybe spirals out of control because she just can't breathe without the affection of a man she met 5 days ago. Because the book doesn't jump a large span of time. I think the book is literally just 1, maybe 2 weeks of school. It's not 2 weeks of school. It's literally her first week at this school. She just met Jackson on Tuesday. Okay? The book ends on Saturday. I don't know why she falls in love that fast, but she does. And I don't like it. I do know that my friend Jaleesa from the name's Jaleesa read Crave and enjoyed it, and she actually purchased Crush as soon as it came out, and there is a vlog up on her channel, and she is someone who enjoyed the first book. I absolutely positively will not be reading Crush, but I know that Jaleesa has read it and her vlog is up, so I will put a link to it above where you can get the opinions of someone who actually did enjoy the book. I don't know if she loved Crush. I don't think that she did. I don't want to say though, but go over there, check out her channel, get her opinion, and see for yourself. Okay, so we're moving on to From Blood and Ash, which in my opinion was exceptionally better than Crave, and I still only gave it 2 stars. I feel like there was a huge disconnect between the main character because she is someone who's sometimes portrayed as like this badass character. She goes out by herself, she fights evil things and evil creatures, she uncovers plots and even slaughters a few men of herself, and then when it comes down to her love interest, she literally can't see nothing. She is blind, and it just was a huge disconnect. I feel like in Crave, Grace was just pretty much stupid all the way around, and it was consistent throughout the book, I will say that. So anything that she did just kind of made sense with what I thought of her character. But Poppy in From Blood and Ash was very, very different because she isn't a naive, inexperienced girl. She isn't just helpless or damsel in distress, and it just didn't make sense for her to be that way with the guy that she was with. It would make more sense if you can't help who you love and you just want to be with this person, so you're willing to overlook their flaws. I understand that. But to just not be able to see the flaws, to just not see the signs. If you're gonna let a man drag you, do it with your chest, okay? I also feel like the love interest in From Blood and Ash was manipulative and emotionally and mentally abusive. And I feel like that just was romanticized as like this toxic relationship, and it just felt very one-sided, and it just didn't make any sense for Poppy to be this girl in this relationship because you're not her with anybody else. Literally in your life, you're never a damsel in distress, and she even has a real abusive relationship with someone else in the book. And I just feel like for you to have experienced as much as you've experienced and gone through and been put through, she was even attacked at her birth, she's lost her parents, she's lost her brother. Like, this is a girl that is not sheltered at all, and so it just didn't make any sense for the main character to play her like a fiddle. You would think that she had never left the house or never been out anywhere for the thing, or because of the way that he manipulated her. I don't mind the manipulation or the toxicity that came with his character line, but the way that he did it was just making Poppy this girl that was just a damsel in distress, and she wasn't that way any other way in the book. And I feel like that really took away from the book for me, and so it ended up being a 2 out of 5 when it could have been a 3. For the first 5-star review, we have, this book is officially my obsession. I need you all to read it so that we can all gush about it. Seriously, I haven't felt this way about a book since Holly Black's Folk of the Air series. I actually don't have a desire to read the Folk of the Air series, so maybe. I do know 3 people who have read the Folk of the Air series and this book, which is From Blood and Ash, and they did enjoy both of them. I am someone who probably won't ever read the Folk of the Air series, so that makes sense. And I'm having trouble concentrating on writing because I can't get this book and the characters out of my head. putting this baby on my favorite shelf. It's not a bad book. I just feel like it could have been done exceptionally better if that character disconnect was not there. I almost DNF'd this book at 16%. I was bored. There were info dumps everywhere. I guess so. The narrator was blah, which is Poppy. The plot wasn't moving. Goodness, and even the time in the book wasn't moving. I'm pretty sure at 16%, not even 24 hours had passed in this book world. So the beginning of the book does not include the love interest, and so you spend quite a bit of time with Poppy, and you get to know her, and you get to see her and her relations to different people. And I enjoyed that part of the book because it built up Poppy as a character. And so that again attributes to this disconnect, because the Poppy that we spend like 30-40% of the book building up, and then the next 20, between 40 to 60%, the Poppy that we see is completely different from the Poppy once the plot starts moving and everything's uncovered and she realizes the true identity of her love interest and how much of a betrayal he is to her. That just didn't make any sense, that we spent so much time building up Poppy's character arc just for when everything hit the fan and stuff started moving, her to be a different person. Like, it truly let me down. Finally, there was dialogue, not just dialogue, but witty banter. The narrator showed she was a badass. I do agree. There was a male lead who did something other than be gorgeous. That is also true. The villains started to make their presence known in despicable ways that made my blood boil. We had side characters who were super likable. We had a slow burn romance that didn't feel forced. I'll be honest, witty banter alone will keep me reading. But literally all of the other tropes I adore showed up, and I was just in love for the rest of the book. I finished about 5 minutes ago, so I'm not even typing coherent sentences right now, but the book is that good. Just push through the boring beginning. I don't disagree with the things that she said. It's just, again, once the character showed she was a badass and then became a damsel in distress, I was just over it. Like, especially because Poppy, as I stated earlier, Poppy has an abusive experience with someone else in the book. And there's a moment where she takes this person head on. I'm not victim blaming because I know how hard it is to stand up to someone who is abusing you. But the other character in this book who is abusing Poppy, she stands up to them and faces them and comes out like this badass victor. And what her love interest is doing to her is not even remotely close to what she has been experiencing before. So why are you letting this person take you back to where you literally just overcame and like got past all of that? It just made my blood boil, and I just can't love this book because of that reason. I'm not as bothered with these 5-star reviews for this book as I am with Crave, because Crave was just horrible. But I do understand people who love From Blood and Ash. I just personally wasn't one of those people. Again, Jaleesa from The Name's Jaleesa has read the second book, and she said that the second book was exponentially better than the first one, and that all of the issues that I had with Poppy will make sense in the second book, and that she felt like the character that Poppy was towards the end had to do with the storyline and where it was going. And so that makes me want to read book 2. I'm not in a rush to pick it up anytime soon, but I would read the second book just to see, like, did you do this on purpose? What was the reason for giving us such a badass main character just to make her so weak and docile in the end? It just didn't make any sense. But if that is resurrected or explained in book 2, or if she's back on her vengeance type stuff, I'm all for that. Anyways, that's all that I have for you guys today. I know that you've missed me. I've missed you guys too. I'm so happy to be back, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.